What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College women's basketball. Duke Blue Devils versus Louisville Cardinals. Duke has a 37.3% chance to win, and Louisville's a 62.7% chance to win. This is at Louisville. So Duke is 17 nation, 16-6 record. Louisville 6 in the nation, 21-3 record for stats. Louisville has more points per game, slightly more points against, slightly higher field goal percentage, and has more rebounds per game. Duke has more assists per game, blocks per game, and Louisville has slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Louisville will beat Duke tomorrow. Vanderbilt Commodores versus Kentucky Wildcats. Vandy is a 38.9% chance to win. Kentucky is a 61.1% chance to win. This is at Kentucky. So Vandy is 7 in nation, 21-2 record. Kentucky is 16 nation, 18-5 record. For stats, Vandy has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Kentucky has more rebounds per game. Vandy has more assists per game. Kentucky has more blocks per game. Vandy has more steals per game. Yeah, these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be big thing here. So I think Kentucky will beat Vanderbilt tomorrow. LSU Tigers versus Texas Longhorns. LSU is a 37.1% chance to win, and Texas has a 62.9% chance to win. This is at Texas. So LSU is 5 nation, 21-2 record. Texas is 4 nation, 21-2 record. For stats, LSU has more points per game, points against, slightly higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and steals per game. So the stat with the big difference is the points per game. It's a 10.6 in favor of LSU. So yeah. So and the other stats are pretty close. So I think despite the home field advantage that Texas has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think LSU will beat Texas. Ohio State Buckeyes versus Washington Huskies. Um, Ohio State has a 51.5% chance to win, and Washington has a 48.4% chance to win. This is at Washington. Ohio State's 9 nation, 20-3 record. Washington's 24 nation, 17-5 record. For stats, Ohio State has more points per game, points against, slightly higher field goal percentage. Washington has more rebounds per game. Ohio State has more assists per game, and slightly more blocks per game, and has more steals per game. So the only stat where there's a big difference is points per game, where it's a 10.5 difference in favor of Ohio State. The rest are pretty close. So despite the home field advantage that Washington has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think Ohio State will beat Washington. Ole Miss Rebels versus Alabama Crimson Tide. Ole Miss has a 51.7% chance to win. Alabama's a 48.3% chance to win. This is at Alabama, so Ole Miss is 13 nation, 19-4 record. Alabama's 21 nation, 19-4 record. For stats, Ole Miss has more points per game. Alabama has slightly more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Ole Miss has more rebounds per game and slightly more assists per game. Alabama has slightly more blocks per game, and Ole Miss has slightly more steals per game. These stats are, I would say, are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be big in here. So I think Alabama will beat Ole Miss. NBA. Golden State Warriors versus Phoenix Suns. The Warriors have a 45.3% chance to win. The Suns have a 54.7% chance to win. This is at Phoenix. Um, yeah, for injuries, for the Warriors, Porzingis and Cryer game time decisions. Curry and Curry are out. Butler third's out for the season. For the Suns, Booker and Green are game time decisions. For stats, Warriors have more points per game, points against. Field goal percentage is even. Um, Suns have slightly more rebounds per game. Warriors have more assists per game and have slightly more blocks per game, and Suns have slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Suns will beat the Warriors. Philadelphia 76ers versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Sixers have a 42.1% chance to win. The Lakers have a 57.9% chance to win. This is at LA. For injuries, for the Sixers, Embiid is a game time decision and George is out. For the Lakers, Thiero's out. For stats, Sixers have slightly more points per game. Lakers have slightly more points against and have a higher field goal percentage. Sixers have more rebounds per game. Lakers have slightly more assists per game. Sixers have more blocks per game and have slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Lakers will beat the 76ers. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.